Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Chris, the podcast on which I answer your questions and address your subjects. I also share my life with you when I've got nothing to address, which is most of the time, honestly, at this point, because I don't have any listeners. So if you're listening to this, please go ahead and leave a comment down below telling me what to talk about, and I'll get right to it. I do try to make an episode every single day, so it might be as soon as tomorrow. Thank you for joining us today, and once again, welcome. I'm still pretty awkward about all of this, in all honesty. So difficult to make a proper transition from the introduction that's supposed to be kind of generic and then into the actual content. So I still need to consider doing that thing where I just pre-record a practiced intro and outro so I can put those, tack those on the end every time and just go straight to talking. But that might also result in some sound levels not being proper and all of that. So maybe I shouldn't. Nonetheless, here we are, and here we go again. I have my coffee, and honestly, I didn't get much sleep last night, so I'm gonna start drinking this. I usually end up mostly talking in order to not have too much silence throughout. But I think today is just going to be me enjoying my coffee and, well, of course, talking to you guys. Regardless, I finally got my haircut yesterday. And it is so nice. Though I was a little scared when I got up because she dry cut my hair and then we went to wash it. And when I got up from the chair and I looked down on the ground, you'd think she'd shaved me bald. There was so much hair there. And not just the, usual, she took off a few inches too much. No, it looked like my entire head of hair was down there. But I did get an undercut behind, and she trimmed off about, I want to say a third, but then when I showered yesterday, it felt more like a fourth. So she cut out a fourth of my hair, and then she layer cut it, and it actually got really, really nice. Definitely worth the money. And I can finally breathe again. Like, my head can breathe. And I was able to maintain my hair yesterday. I used all of my usual products and it feels really good. I highly recommend if you are... No, I probably shouldn't say that. I was about to recommend this hairdresser if you're from the area, but that would kind of tell people what area I'm from, and that's probably not the best thing to do. So I'm gonna take that back, but yeah, I would highly recommend them to anyone in real life, at least, because they are great. And while I've been cut by several of the people in there, I have been cut by Maria twice now, and she is by far the best of them. Not necessarily her skill, but so it's difficult to say this without, the others sounding like they're not as good, because they're very skilled, they're very charming, and they are interesting and all of that, but Maria just has that extra. It's like the entire place is an A grade. Maria is an A+. Like that's the kind of thing I'm going for, trying to say. And honestly, getting my haircut has motivated me to do more. It's a little strange how something such as hair can make you less energetic, but when I came home yesterday, I had more energy. Today, when I woke up, even though I'm super tired, I feel like I have more energy. I feel good. I got dressed nicely today, too. Well, not nicely, but I put on some slightly nicer clothes than usual. Because I just feel like doing that, now that my hair is pretty. And it may seem silly, but I talked about this yesterday, right? That making small changes can actually do a lot. And it can, changing one thing can motivate you to continue keeping that, keeping that change up, so to speak. Or it can even motivate you to make other changes. This has definitely motivated me to get my hair cut once every 6 months or so. And also, like I said, getting it cut motivated me to put on some nicer clothes, which motivated me to take out the trash that has been here for literal months. not trash. I should probably clarify that it's cardboard. I've had a stack of cardboard just lying around, and the worst part is that the cardboard container is less than 100 meters away. So it's not that difficult to get rid of, but sometimes you just don't have the motivation to do it. And at first it was in my living room, then because that's where I opened it, and then I put it all together. The big box, I put the small boxes in the big box. Then it ended up in my bedroom because that's where it was the least in the way. Then I decided to move it to my hallway because then maybe by putting it near the door, I'd grab it on the way out at some point. But no, I never got around to it. I guess I just never get around to things in general. And it's dumb because getting rid of it makes me feel good. Cleaning the kitchen. My kitchen is almost 100% clean. That makes me feel good. And, I want to do more so that I'm more motivated, so that I feel better, and so that I can do more stuff. Though my classmate, my group mate, she does tell me that I need to stop working sometimes. And I've tried to explain to her that I do. It's just that work is always kind of intermingled with what I do. So I like to play Paladins. It's a video game. Kind of like Overwatch, only better. Fight me. Now, I have my reasons for thinking that Paladins is better than Overwatch. I feel like the community is less toxic. There is a greater variety and customizability, so I get to play in the way that I want, and that makes sense because I've always been an MMORPG and an RPG kind of person in general. I want to be able to modify my skills, my weapon types. I want to do all these things. I don't want to just play the way the developers ordered me to play. I was one of the first people to... Okay, so this is a bit of a nerdy insight. Back in the day, Death Knights in World of Warcraft were supposed to tank using their Frost spec. Well, I was one of the people who pioneered using a Blood spec to tank, because back then you could, when they were introduced, you could tank as any spec, you could heal as any spec. People just kind of trusted each other on that one. And so I ended up building a Blood tank that would heal itself tremendously and keep up an enormous amount of aggro. You don't need to know any of that. If you don't know what any of that means, essentially it means that I played in a way that the developers had not thought about. Because I was not supposed to tank using that specialization. I was supposed to be a Frost Death Knight in order to tank, but I didn't like the way Frost Death Knights played, so I made it my own. I took a character with a skill set and made it my own. This was done through talent trees, points that I put in to customize my character and how its abilities worked. I like that about Paladins. I like that, do I want to reload faster? Do I want to move faster? Do I want my ultimate to charge faster? Do I want to take less damage? Do I want to be able to see people who are invisible when they get close to me? Like, I make these choices. And not just that, but I also get to choose the cooldowns. Like, I can choose that when I get an elimination, my cooldowns should reset. Well, not reset entirely. I don't think anyone can do it. Well, Sky can. Anyway, so... But what I'm trying to say is that I can customize it. I can't customize Overwatch, and I hate it. Whenever I play as Tracer, it's always Tracer. When I play as Soldier 76, it's always Soldier 76. There is no variety. And yes, while the characters are different, you don't get to specialize when you're playing. You select a champion and you go there and you're just there. Now, admittedly, Overwatch allows you to change, and that's kind of cool. It's definitely a big deal that you can change. I don't like that they've locked in so that you can no longer, you have to choose if you're a support, tank, or damage dealer. I don't like that. They shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. Regardless, I got sidetracked there for a bit. Paladins is better than Overwatch. Fight me. So... yeah, something. I've always liked playing video games. I have no idea what my original point was, you guys. I completely went off the rails there. Huh. That's interesting. I apologize for that. I really do. But that's, you know, I want to say ADHD in work, but it's true for anybody that sometimes we just kind of lose track about what's happening. So I guess my initial point was something along the lines of customizing yourself. What was I trying to say? I like to play video games. Oh, yes. Now I've got it. Yeah, I enjoy playing video games. And when I'm playing video games, I'll often be thinking about work in the background. So if I die, there's a timer before I respawn. So I'll tap out of the game and I'll look through products from the store, or I'll look at my website to see if I can make any improvements. And I'll think about stuff. I'll search for photography, and, you know, I'll do a little bit of work. And then when I hear myself respawn, I'll tap back in. And just so that you can calm down a little bit, I don't play ranked. Not anymore. I used to, but that was a long time ago. I do not have the energy for ranked anymore. It's just... I like being able to play casually at this point. Though I did used to play pretty high. To those of you who know about Paladins, I used to be D2 back in Season 1. So, I mean, I used to be good. I'm not as good as anymore. It's very, very obvious that I'm not as good anymore. I guess you just become slow with age or something. Youngsters these days always killing me. But I'm still having fun. That's kind of the point of it all, is to have fun. But I work in the background, and I always work in the background. I'm almost always doing something. And my classmate really wants me to relax a little bit. But like I've told her, it actually is kind of relaxing to me a lot of the time to be able to work. So, and like I said, I think that was my point, was that now that I've cleaned up nice and I feel a little better about myself, I have more energy and drive and motivation to work, which is also something I enjoy. So that's really great that I get to do that. Now, today is mostly going to be me interrogating my classmates. Essentially, I'll be preparing them for the examination on Wednesday, and the other one is on Friday. I go there on Thursday. But, you know, it's, I'm the web specialist, so I'm gonna be asking them web-related questions. It's gonna be interesting. I'm not sure I'll learn a whole lot today, but, I mean, they do give back. So I'm just gonna have to remember to ask them to help me with my theory, and maybe ask me a few questions about theory. Because theory is my... Okay, I keep calling it my weak spot, but honestly, I was the one who explained what design thinking was. I explained the 8 things that make up a good user interface, which, like, I can never remember the 8 things. I can remember 5 of them, and then I can remember the other 3, but then I forget, and I can't name all 8 of them. I can always name about half of them, but they're different ones. They're not the same ones every time. So stupid. But yeah, I'm also the one who's explaining, like, what the difference between an organic user interface and a natural user interface is. And I'm the one who talks about the effects of typography. I talk about crap. That's not me trying to curse or anything. It stands for contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. And I've basically used crap and reading patterns based on my personas in an effort to make my website great. So hopefully I'll be able to defend it. But we actually don't have to defend the website. We have to defend the hiccups. We have to defend the improvements that we've made to the website. And I feel like that's not great. I'd like to have defended what I'd originally made, but it is how it is. And I've made a lot of improvements to the website, and I can argue why I've made those improvements. So I think I'll pass. I mean, I'm still scared of failing, but I think if I do fail, it'll be because of a technicality. So I really do need to make sure that I make a small PowerPoint or something to highlight the changes, the differences. For example, the dog theme and why I've made it. Using my mood board and my personas as individuals for the motivation behind it, because one of the reasons I made a dark theme was for completion, which is also why I need a button to change the theme and not just do it naturally if the person prefers a dark theme, because I need to be able to display the effort I've put into it, because one of my personas would especially like that. Anyway, this is enough rambling for me. I'm gonna cut it off now. I'm gonna cut myself off. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.